GT4 European Series supports Project Mine.
Welcome to Germany's Eifel Mountains for the 5th round of the GT4 European Series. Deep in these forests lies one of the most famous and feared racetracks in the world, the Nürburgring Nordschleife, otherwise known as the Green Hell. Alongside it lies the modern home of the German Grand Prix. It's fast, it's challenging, but it's a whole lot less dangerous. And that's where we are today.
Today we take a close look at the track with local hero Jörg Viehbahn. A heavy crash with a lot of damage and a painful result. And of course 2 spectacular races at this historic venue.
The end of the season may be approaching, but newcomers are still flocking to the GT4 European Series. Making their debut in Germany are the Reimer Racing Squad with 2 BMW M3s. In one, the familiar face of Peter Stocks, who raced a BMW in Dutch GT4. His teammate is Belgium's Koen de Wit. The second car is driven by Marcel van Rijswijk and André de Vries. And de Vries already has experience in the class, his debut coming in 2012 as a replacement for Prince Bernhard van Oranje in the Ecris team. He debuted in style then, taking 2nd place, and is pleased to be rejoining the GT4 Series. They're not the only newcomers, they're not the only BMWs either. Another M3 comes from Germany's Sorg Rennsport team. They're fielding the eager Swedes Anders Fjordback and Erik Berggren. Fjordback is switching over from the Blancpain Endurance Series, while Berggren has a year in Swedish GT under his belt as a driver and a businessman, and he's impressed with the GT4 Series.
The series is amazing. It's loads of cars. Comparing to Sweden, there's loads of cars. It's good. There's many competitors and everyone's fast. So as a driver, you learn more by racing here than racing in Sweden. So therefore, it's an obvious choice for me where to race.
Well, not all the newcomers are mounted in BMWs. Matol Racing has entered an Aston Martin Vantage for Stefan Retzlaff and Hendrik Still. Still familiar with the Nürburgring, especially the Nordschleife, having driven here in their long-distance VLN races. And he's able to compare GT4 and VLN cars.
I know the Ginetta from Nürburgring here, but I think the Aston Martin is a little bit easier to drive. You have more horsepower in the car. I think it's easier to drive here on Nürburgring with this car.
Still has been pleasantly surprised by the strong competition in the GT4 European Series.
If you have 1 or 2 mistakes, you're from position 2 to 10. Really great here and really tough.
Porsche driver Jörg Viehbahn lives very close to the Nürburgring. Having raced here many times and having done thousands of laps, he is the best person to take us round and explain the secrets of a good lap.
We come down here with high speed, about 240 on the GT4s. It's a very tricky part to brake because it's very bouncy. You can see the black lines here, so that shows that it's very bouncy. We have 2 different lines possible. One is the outside, that leads towards the apex here in the inside, and then you go out to the outside again. But you may also use the inside line. It's very nice for out-braking a car if you come out of the slipstream. Just fall into the corner right on the side of the apex. And then you go and lead towards 2nd corner, which is up there, up the hill. 3 is very important for the next 4 corner, number 4 corner, because you need to anticipate and to be very far on the left side to make sure you hit the apex very fast to get all the speed along the straight. Before we get into Dunlop-Kehre, we have 2 Ford corners, Ford 1 and 2. So it goes kind of steep down the hill here towards the braking on the Dunlop-Kehre, which is a 180 degree corner. Usually you brake in kind of inside the corner here, and then you either take a V shape towards the outside, or you just go round on the inside. That's the two possible lines you can use here on that corner. Afterwards, we go up the hill towards Schumacher S, and that's a very, very particular and very important part of the track, because you need to carry the speed through the left corner and the right corner, because afterwards it goes up the hill. And if you mess up in the first left corner, you're definitely not going to make it through the second corner, and you miss at least half a second on that part. Coming down out of Yokohama, you can see the Hatzenbach-Bogen, it's called. So it's the fastest part of the track. We accelerate through to 6th gear and come with probably, I don't know, 250, 255 towards the NGK chicane. We approach this corner here, we're using the more fluid endurance one compared to Formula 1, which uses the other NGK chicane. We use both curbs. There's one on the left side and one on the right side. So it's very important to hit the curbs under throttle to use the differential and not have the car rolling. Otherwise it really bounces, and then you intend to turn the car around, which you definitely don't want to do. But you try to carry again quite a lot of speed up the hill towards the last corner here on the track. Has two possible lines depending on the car. If you have a front weight car or a rear weight car, you just use either the inside line or the outside line to accelerate on the start and finish line. And that's one lap on the Grand Prix circuit.
Well, let's hope he hasn't given too many tips away to his rivals. Here is our poleman, Stefano Stefanelli. He can clearly find his way around. Fastest in qualifying, ahead of fellow Ginetta driver Jesse Antilla in a second turquoise car. But there is Jörg Wiebahn, third on the grid for our guide, and he looks pretty happy, doesn't he? And he's got newcomer Hendrik still lining up behind him. Veteran of plenty of races on the Nordschleife. Let's see what he knows about the Grand Prix circuit. There is Berta Sanders. He'll take over the Porsche halfway through. Here we go for the rolling start, and it's Stefano Stefanelli from Jörg Wiebahn. The Porsche tucked in behind, the Aston Martin going in third. Oh, and deep down the inside goes Jesse Antilla, and around goes Franfield Bugliotti, tagged by one of the Team Holland BMWs on board with Bernhard van Oranje. There's Bugliotti, the white car in front. Oranje goes inside, Bugliotti cuts across his bows. Everybody looking for the main chance, and that really was a bit of a racing incident. Marcel van Rijswijk, one of the newcomers, he's heading into the pits really slowly. He must have some technical problems. Oh, and who's that? That's Erik Behrens being helped out of his cut. That's Peter Christian van Oranje helping him, and there's the BMW. Well, safety car's being scrambled. Behrens not looking well. On board with Peter Christian then. Oh, loses control, loops it into a spin. Oh, here's the Aston. Oh, that was a big impact. On board with Erik Behrens. Looking for a way to get around.
Jag är okej grabbar, men det gör ont som fan i pungen. Fan, det är inte mitt fel alls. Han snurrade framför mig så satte sig. Eller fan.
Just before the Michael Schumacher curve, I spinned. I don't know what happened, if the tire was not good, something else. It was very strange. Anyway, I couldn't hold the spin, so I turned 180 degrees. The first car was able to pass, the second car couldn't avoid the collision and got me frontal.
A lot of damage?
A lot of damage.
We're going to see it in the afternoon?
I think we're going to do everything. We'll get the car back in time. We're going to assess it. Seems like nothing vital has been hit, but it's going to be a challenge.
After 6 laps, we get the green flag once more, and it is Jörg Wiebahn who leads the race. Real pressure coming now from new boy Hendrik Steele in that black Aston Martin, and Wiebahn heading into the pits. The window is open. He's going to hand over immediately to Berta Sanders, get the Porsche out from under the cudgels of the Aston Martin, which will now lead on its debut. Hands on hips is Berta Sanders. He's not the only one either. Ricardo van der Ende waiting for Bernhard van Oranje, who's also coming in. So Hendrik Steele leading in the black Aston, then the turquoise cars of Stefano Stefanelli and Jesse Antilla, then Manuel Lasagni, 4th place in the red Ginetta, the Porsche ready to go, and off heads Berta Sanders. Hendrik Steele stays out there. It'll be interesting to see what their tactics are for when he changes over to Stefan Retzlaff, his co-driver. Behind the Porsche, Berta Sanders, the Ginetta now with Salvador Tineo taking over from Jesse Antilla. And Ricardo van der Ende in the BMW hunting them down. In the pits then is the race leader, Hendrik Still, hands over the Aston Martin to Stefan Retzlaff. And the Ginetta has got by. So Salvador Tineo in front then of the Porsche. Out heads Stefan Retzlaff in the Aston Martin. And their tactics have worked. Look, they are still in the lead. The blue car, Lorenzo Marucci, he's in second. Manuel Lissani stays in his red Ginetta. And is he third in front of Salvador Tineo? At the moment, yes he is, and he cuts Tineo off. And there's a battle for the lead now. Aston Martin under pressure. Stefano Stefanelli started that blue Ginetta. Lorenzo Marucci taking the lead away from Stefan Retzlaff in the Aston. And right with them now, more Ginettas, trouble on the inside. Manuel Lissani turns the Aston Martin around. And Retzlaff knocked into the gravel. Porsche taking advantage, Berta Sanders getting by that red Ginetta who's smoking now. And Hendrik Still not looking happy after his teammate got punted into the gravel.
After the break, we will continue with this spectacular first race and, of course, the second race at the German track.
GT4 European Series supports Project Mine.
Welcome back at the Nürburgring. Before the break, we saw the first part of race 1 and a spectacular crash caused a safety car. So close racing it'll be. Let's get back to the action.
Look at this, here we go, Salvador Tineo under pressure into the chicane from Lorenzo Marucci. He rides the curbs, can he hold it? No, he can't. And look at this, Berta Sanders, 3 wide, the Porsche with the inside line. Will that play to his advantage? Will he run out of traction or will he take the lead? He takes the lead with the Ginetta in either mirror. Here comes Ricardo van der Ende, the BMW driver now trying to make the move for third, and a big slide there from Salvador Tineo gets loose on the dirt. Jan Joris Verhul's white Camaro is right there. He'll take a place if he can as they speed down the hill towards the Dunlop hairpin. Jörg Wiebahn, like the rest of us, watching with bated breath. Again, van der Ende lunging to the inside. Right behind him now, Duncan Heisman's Camaro as he squeezes by Salvador Tineo and drifts out very wide indeed. Just hangs on. There's his teammate, Bernhard van der Antje, loving that too. Berta Sanders under real pressure now from the number 1 car, Ricardo van der Ende. Duncan Heisman close behind. Luke Brahms started the number 2 V8 Racing Camaro. Little rub between the two of them there. Van der Ende says, thanks for not hitting me too hard. Robbins racing, and there's some smoke rubbing off the car of Salvador Tineo in 4th place as this lead battle rages on. Heisman looking at Van der Ende. Van der Ende looking at Sanders for the lead of this race as he throws it at the chicane. He's got a good run going. Has he got enough to get to the inside line? No. Berta Sanders is there first. Bumpety, bumpety, bump. Around the outside, Heisman can't get the traction. Porsche and BMW and contact there. The BMW bounces in the air. Berta Sanders desperate to try and hold back Ricardo van der Ende, and through has gone Heisman into the lead of the race. Heisman leads, van der Ende and Sanders both second, and van der Ende with the inside line. Heisman goes out deep, 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 and through comes van der Ende, but Heisman's got the inside. Little bump again. There's paint being swapped on both sides of these cars. Heisman with the torque, but he couldn't get the line away from the BMW. Berta Sanders in 3rd, Salvador Tineo in 4th in the pale blue Ginetta, and again contact between the leaders. What a race this is! Who is going to come out on top last time around here? Ricardo van der Ende leads in the BMW. Duncan Heisman in 2nd place in the Camaro. And the Porsche, the Ginettas could still take it. Ricardo van der Ende being almost pushed along by Duncan Heisman's Camaro. Up the hill they come. Van der Ende in the middle of the road. Heisman left to right, to left to right, to left to right. And still the BMW keeps his line, takes it into the chicane. Here comes the Camaro. Last time to the last corner. Van der Ende's just got it. Can Heisman find something for the drag race? The flag is out. It is going to be victory for the BMW. Ricardo van der Ende inches in front of Duncan Heisman and Berta Sanders. Celebration for Bernhard van der Antje. and for Ricardo van der Ende. Now that's the kind of racing that drivers enjoy. Behind them, the AM class winners, Rob Savers and Lisette Brahms. And I think everybody enjoyed that race in the grandstands, on the pit wall, and certainly in the cars. What a race that was. The one place it wasn't appreciated entirely, in the stewards' room. Bernhard van der Randje penalised 10 seconds for hitting Franfil Bugliotti in the first corner, and that drops our on-the-road winners down to 5th, meaning it's the first win of the season for Luke Brahms and Duncan Heisman.
We lost it in Spa after the collision I had with Simon, and we got a 10-second penalty, and here he was under investigation already. I think it's a good thing that they check all the onboards and then decide if it was avoidable, yes or no. And he got the 10 seconds, which they decided was necessary to do, and then we got the victory back, which we lost in Spa due to the same thing.
Of course, the big story was Peter Christian van der Randje and Eric Behrens' crash in race 1 that brought out the safety car. A massive head-to-head impact. Looks like the Alfab Racing Aston Martin is the one that came off worse. Frantic work at the Alfab team trying to get it ready for race 2.
I'm fine. I just the belt hit the left ball, so I have a small damage on that. So that was not so nice, but the rest of the body, it's fine.
What happened exactly with PC van Oranje?
Suddenly he span, and I choose to go on the left side, but I should have been choosing the right side, because then I wouldn't hit anybody. But sadly I hit the BMW. It was a racing accident, and shit happens, yeah.
How's the car? Can we see you this afternoon in race 2?
We hope it doesn't look like that. We had some bigger damage than we thought from the beginning.
What is exactly the damage? I heard something about the oil tank.
Exactly, the oil tank, and then we don't have one, so, and we were supposed to win next race.
Salvation may come from their rivals Matol Racing. The newcomers have got a VLN spec Aston Martin Vantage here, and they're using it to try and help Alfab in their battle against time. Cannibalising parts from the VLN car might just get this Aston back out on track for race 2. Damage to the Swedish car was worse than they at first thought, and that turns out to be the same story at Racing Team Holland. PC van Oranje looking a little bit helpless. The team have not got time to get this car back out on the grid.
We are not able to fix the car, so that's it for today, unfortunately. I'm happy the other driver feels good, because I was a bit concerned after the crash. I saw some smoke coming out of his car, so I thought, let's get him out. So we're both in good condition, which is, I think, the most important.
Sun hopefully will dry it out. It's starting to dry already as the 007 Aston Martin comes to the grid wearing borrowed panels and borrowed parts to take up its 2nd position. Front row start for Eric Behrens and Daniel Roos, who will start the car. And there's Luke Brahms. His teammate Duncan Heisman will line up in 3rd behind the Aston, but there's drama at the last moment, pushing it off the side of the track before the formation lap. That's a heartbreaker.
No, I was always crying when I saw the car coming and said, hey, we will fight as hard as we can, and you know, you got the feeling that now we made it, we are so strong, we will have a victory or at least a podium. And then sadly it starts to leak in the oil tank, but all the best. I mean, the guys, they've been fighting, they've been showing that they are made of steel, Swedish Vikings. We made it the impossible, but you know, again, a little bit bad luck. It's, I don't know what it is.
Jan Joris Verhoel in the Camaro leads the charge down to the first corner. Duncan Heisman behind him. On the right of your picture, Berta Sanders in the Porsche looking down the outside line. We're on board with Ricardo van der Ende in 4th, make that 5th as the Porsche goes by. Heisman takes the lead on the inside there. Oh, and contact from Roberto Gentilis Ginetta and somebody else. Double impact for Ricardo van der Ende. He gets turned around. It's Duncan Heisman that leads. Jan Joris Verhoel, Camaro 1-2, just cutting off the nose of Berta Sanders there in the Porsche, who lies in 3rd. Then 4th is Lorenzo Marucci, on board with Ricardo van der Ende, going by Luca Magnoni, and right in front is Eric Berggren in the BMW. In front of him is Andre de Vries in the Weimar racing car, so 3 M3s jockeying for position. Ricardo van der Ende goes by on the way down to the hairpin. Challenge for the lead here. Duncan Heisman under pressure. Jan-Joris Verhoel with traction on the drier parts of the track. Now he has to go off on the wet part over the AstroTurf. No traction there at all. Verhoel struggling for grip as all that V8 horsepower makes itself felt. Heisman under pressure now. The Porsche has got great traction. Having to go around the outside though, so Heisman just clinging on to a slender lead. But as you can see, there's not much dry tarmac to play with. Teams watching the battles through the field. They see Van der Ende trailing a bumper. He goes by Lorenzo Marucci. The team are loving that, and there he is in the background. Now Bertus Sanders under pressure. Jan-Joris Verhoel, is he going to use the wet inside line? And if he does, will he ever stop? Oh, well, that was always going to happen. He had not enough grip there. Porsche turned in, Verhoel hit him, knocked him into a spin, while Verhoel in second for the moment. Here comes Ricardo van der Ende all over the back of Jan-Joris Verhoel, trailing that bumper still, but he's got the run on the Camaro, squeezes him into the braking area, and through he goes up to second spot from last in the field. What a drive from Ricardo van der Ende. In the pits making their change are our newcomers from Sorgren Sport, Anders Fjordbach taking over there. And Ricardo van der Ende hands over the second place car to Bernhard van Oranje after a great stint. Number 9 BMW on the inside, that's Andre Grammatico, the Frenchman, leading the AM class, driving solo as ever. Duncan Heisman watching the action from the V8 Racing pit wall. Teammate Luke Brahms, the race leader, has the BMW right behind. Bernhard van Oranje trying to line him up. And Brahms, gets onto the wet, can't hold it, just keeps it out of the gravel, but losing the lead there, can't find any traction at all. And Heisman can't believe it. Luke Brahms under pressure now for second place. This is Franfield Bugliotti, who got knocked off in the first corner of race one. The Ginetta driver's got the inside line. The Camaro carries the speed through the corner. Either line works, but the Ginetta keeps it in front for second. And that's the end of the road for Peter Stocks. Took over from Koen de Wit. But the Reimer Racing car steaming at the side of the road. Battle for the race lead. Bernhard van Oranje in the BMW, and right behind him, Franfield Bugliotti in the Ginetta now alongside. Bugliotti, what could he have done in race one? Ricardo van der Ende watches from the Racing Team Holland pit wall. The Ginetta on the inside, and he grabs the lead of the race. Oh, he's leading the Cup class. Ricardo van der Ende, though, thumbs up. They're still leading the GT4 class. Out of the final corner comes our race leader, Franfield Bugliotti for Nova Race, is going to take the checkered flag, overall victory, and he wins the Cup class. But Bernhard van Oranje brings the number 1 BMW to the line to the applause of his teammates as he wins the GT4 Pro class. It's a first win then for Franfield Bugliotti, the 25-year-old from Argentina. French veteran Andre Grammatico ended up on top in the AM class, but a remarkable back-to-front race saw victory number 5 for Ricardo van der Ende and Bernhard van Oranje.
Great sportive revenge, very happy with this P1. I think very lucky that we made it through the faster cars. Great driving from Ricardo. It was a really fun race, and enjoyed it till the end.
Their first win since race 1 at Spa means they're now comfortably in front in the championship, but with 50 points still on offer, any one of the top 4 teams could end up as champion. And in the AM class, it's just as close, 11 points in it as we head into the final race weekend.
So this wraps up round 5 of the GT4 European Series. The next race weekend is at the Cathedral of Speed, the Autodromo di Monza in Italy. There, the championship will be decided, and what a place to have the final race of the year. For now, thanks for watching and auf Wiedersehen!
GT4 European Series ondersteunt Project Mine.